At this crucial time in the fight for equality, it is irresponsible of the Record Searchlight to allow such brazen poppycock as that written by Joseph Bussey, Speak Your Peace, June 8th, to appear in the pages of the paper. Bussey's basic thesis is that sexuality is not an inborn trait, simply because the research he has seen offers no definitive proof. Remind Bussey that science in general is very skeptical of the idea of proof. Scientists are big on consensus, not so big on certainty. However, the current consensus is not what Bussey presents it. Bussey references only one scientific study, that by Simon Levy. Levy's findings have been controversial, which may be why his study is the only one Bussey mentions, despite the fact that recent research done at Oregon State University lends weight to the conclusions reached by Levy. There is much other research to be considered, and not that done by the Family Research Institute and NARTH, both of which are tied to right-wing religious organizations. NARTH advocates conversion therapy, which has been discounted by both the American Psychological Association and the American Psychiatric Association. The Family Research Institute's 2005 budget was less than $200,000, not enough to conduct any meaningful research. Its website lists only 2 scientists on staff, and the organization is considered a hate group by the Southern Poverty Law Center. So let's look at the state of true scientific inquiry into how homosexuality presents itself in human beings. First, twin studies. Recent studies have found that when one identical twin is gay, there is a 52% chance the other is also gay. If one fraternal twin is gay, the probability of the other twin is gay drops to 22%, and if one separate birth sibling is gay, there is only a 6% to 10% chance another sibling will be gay. This indicates both hereditability and that something environmental, probably hormone levels in utero, is at play. This is reinforced by the fact that more recent studies have indicated that when identical twins share an amniotic sac, they nearly always have the same orientation, gay or straight. Look also at studies on fraternal birth order. Ray Blanchard and colleagues discovered accidentally that each time a woman gives birth to a son, the chance that the boy will be gay increases by about 30%. Older sisters do not affect the probability, only older brothers. Blanchard argues that this indicates an immune response by the mother to the presence of a male child. There is also studies that have shown differences in finger length between heterosexuals and homosexuals. The results of these studies have been verified and reproduced. Sexuality is about as much a choice as handedness is. As recently as the last century, teachers would tie a child's left hand in a vain attempt to make them right-handed. While a left-handed person can force himself to write right-handed, just as a gay person can force himself to live a heterosexual lifestyle, that doesn't make the lefty a righty or the gay man straight. Some people, the ambidextrous, whatever, or the bisexual, would find it relatively easy to move from one behavior to the other. But for most of us, changing our sexuality would be as impossible as learning to write as precisely or throw a ball as accurately with our non-dominant hand as with our dominant hand. Science doesn't have proof as to what causes left-handedness either. Like sexuality, it is probably a combination of genetics and in utero environmental factors reinforced in early childhood by societal norms. But it's clear that both are most likely fixed at birth. Bussey has done the readers of the Reading Record Searchlight a great disservice by presenting his misguided opinions as being representative of the scientific community at large. Sexuality is not strictly a genetic trait like skin color or eye color, but it is certainly not a conscious choice people make. Even if it were, that's still no reason to deny marriage equality to the more than 1 million gay people living in California. Religion is a choice, and laws prevent discrimination on that basis. I hope the readers of the Record Searchlight will look at these matters with an open mind and remember that the equality being sought is civil equality, and every church will still retain the right to deny marriage to anyone they wish. Are Californians truly ready to write discrimination into our Constitution so that a group of people who are different from birth will be treated unequally? I don't think so. I think we are better than that. Tom Bester is a writer in San Rafael. This is an article I found online written in 2008. I wanted to read that article before I tried to watch this video. I don't think I'll get through this very far because honestly the level of religious poison demonstrated by this individual is nauseating. But I'm going to play a little bit of it and say what I think of what he's saying. This is by somebody with the name of Tshoebat, spelled Tshoebat, and this is a shorter version of a video he made called Being Gay is Not a Right. Please keep in mind the article that I just read, which was in 2008. Most likely there's more updated information now, but that was in 2008.
Giving you guys another video telling you what the church is not telling you. In this message, I'm going to be giving an argument that is, to say the least, pretty unorthodox to the modern mind. And that is that I believe that homosexuality, or I don't like to use that term, but homosexuality should be banned in the United States.
Isn't that great? Isn't that great? He thinks that people who are born gay, who fall in love with people of their same gender, should just be banned. I don't know what he means by that exactly. Does he mean that people who fall in love with people of the same gender should be kicked out of the country completely? Or banned? Banned. What's that mean? Should they be put in jail then if they fall in love with somebody who's of the same gender? What I'd like to know is, how do you control who you fall in love with, and how do you control who you feel sexual attraction to? I'd really like to know, because you know, I'm 50 years old and I have never been able to control that with myself. I have no control whatsoever who I fall in love with and who I'm sexually attracted to. So I'm a little curious to know why he thinks that some people have some ability to control that.
The homosexual agenda needs to be banned in the United States.
His idea of an agenda is interesting. He seems to think that homosexuals are banding together and plotting to take over the country. People are born gay, just like people, like the article says, are born with left hands, left-handed, or red hair. You can have gay parents and be born straight. You could be straight parents and have a child who's gay. It has absolutely nothing to do with what the parents are, what the child is going to be. And no, you can't go around recruiting people and trying to get kids to become gay. This idea is just beyond absurd. This just shows the paranoia that is created by this mindset, by this religion. It creates not only hatred and indifference, or not indifference, it creates hatred and intolerance, but it also creates paranoia.
It is way too dangerous to be tolerated.
It's dangerous. What people do in their bedrooms, behind closed doors, in their own off time, in their own private lives, that's dangerous.
For one thing, homosexuality used to be banned in this country. There used to be laws.
Yes, it used to be that in this country there were a whole lot more ignorant, bigots running around being controlled by this filthy religion, namely Christianity. Happily, in my lifetime, I have seen a great deal of change, and dare I say, we've evolved a little bit since then. He seems to be suggesting that we unevolve ourselves and go back to being stupid, ignorant bigots.
Against homosexuals back in the old days. So
back in the good old days when we were discriminating freely and uninhibitedly against people just because they weren't the same as we are.
it's not contrary to the American spirit for me to say.
Ooh, the American spirit. It's not contrary to the American spirit, that's right. The American spirit, that's the big melting pot that welcomes everybody, you know, to this land. Equal right to pursue happiness. Say it's not contrary to the American spirit to say that gays should be discriminated against. Right. He must be talking about an entirely different America than the America I grew up in.
This, nor is it contrary to the spirit of Christianity.
Now, the spirit of Christianity, I totally agree with him. This is totally in line with the spirit of Christianity, that yes, we should definitely ban anybody who the Bible says is bad. This book. Yeah, the book. If this book says that people are bad, or, you know, they have like a little section, they have like, okay, here's all the bad qualities, here's Satan, all the bad qualities over here, and here's God and all the good qualities, and if anybody does any of these things, they're bad, and they should be stoned to death. So, yeah, this is totally banning people from the country because of who they fall in love with or what they do in their private lives. Totally in line with what the Christian mentality, the spirit of Christianity. Hi, I just accidentally turned off my camera instead of hitting the play button, so I'm going to have a two-parter on this video.
As we all know, homosexuality is banned in the first 5 books of Moses.
Yes, as we all know, homosexuality is banned in the Old Testament. In fact, it says in there that we should kill homosexuals. So, hey, you know, I think because this book says this, we should start rounding them all up and stoning them to death. What do you think? In fact, this guy here would throw the first stone. Of that, I have no doubt.
And not only that, it is declared as worthy of death by St. Paul in his letter to the Romans.
See, and because St. Paul says this, must be true.
So, we have to keep in mind that what I'm saying is not out of logic. It is very logical.
It's logical. I agree. He's got it right for sure. Anybody who does you know, because this book says so, definitely. It's totally right that we should kill them. Yep.
One thing, the homosexuals want to recruit our children.
Homosexuals want to recruit our children. Now, isn't that interesting coming from a Christian, where they have things like Jesus Camp and Good News Club and the whole big emphasis on attacking the youngest children and basically attaching themselves to public schools, which used to be kind of like a way to keep kids from having to be infected by religion. You know, people had the choice in the olden days that he kind of invoked there for a little while. If you wanted your kid to have a religious upbringing, you put them in a private school, like a Christian school or a Catholic school. And if you didn't care, if you wanted your child to be able to decide for themselves what they believed and have more of a freedom, you put them in public schools where they were exposed to all different kinds of cultures and language and ideas. But now we have like the Good News Club that attaches itself to these schools and tries to get these kids, tries to recruit children for Jesus. And isn't it interesting that this guy's talking about people who are born with a sexual preference that they really cannot control? He thinks that they can, apparently, or that they can talk other people into changing their sexual preference, even though I just read an article that says that that's really not possible. You can't just change what sexual preference you are unless you're dexterous or whatever that word was, or bisexual, I guess. Anyway, trying to find light humor here, because this video and this person, the idea, the words coming out of his mouth really make my blood boil. Seriously. I'm not gonna turn my camera off this time. I'm just gonna hit the...
They want to make our children homosexuals.
Right, make the children homosexual. They what they do is they line them up and they give them candy that's shaped like men's cocks, you know, suckers, shaped like men's cocks, and they have they play music with that has subliminal messages. You know, kids wear headphones and they play this stuff and make the kids listen. They duct tape them to the side of the building with their arms and legs spread so they can't move, and they put these headphones on them and they play subliminal music over and over and over and over, telling them it's cool to be gay, it's cool to be gay, it's really cool to be gay, it's so cool to walk around and have, you know, your rights denied you and having to battle tooth and nail just to have the same rights as everybody else. It's really cool to have persecution and be discriminated against and have people make filthy videos like this about you. It's really cool. You want to be gay because everybody knows that gays have so much fun in society. They are so welcome in society and shit. Yeah. So they're trying to make those kids gay. Watch out.
Want to take our children.
Take your children from you. See, this is what I'm talking about, paranoia. And what's funny is people will watch this who haven't any clue. There's a lot of people who really just don't know. They don't bother to educate themselves. The only thing they look at, the only thing they listen to is the Bible. And they'll watch this guy and they'll be like, really? Oh my God, the gays are trying to take over the country. They're trying to take our children. Oh my God, it's terrible. What are we gonna do? We need to lock all those gay people up. Those horrible gay people. We need to lock them up and put them in jail and prisons and stone them to death. That's humanely euthanize them. That's what we should do. Yeah. Because of people like this. It's unreal.
In order to make them into cross-dressers and what have you, if we allow the homosexual movement to prosper, if we allow it to prosper.
If we allow it, for some reason, they have that choice. They have, should we let these people have rights? I don't know. What do you think? Should we let them have rights? Should we allow them to have rights, the same rights as we have? Should we allow them to? Should we allow women to vote? Should we allow black people to vote? Should we allow women to own property? Should women have control over their own bodies? Should we allow that? Should we allow two people who fall in love to be able to express their love? Fuck this mentality. Fuck people like this. Fuck a religion that creates this kind of thinking. This, I'm higher than everybody else. I'm looking down at everybody else because I have elevated thinking thanks to my religion, and I can decide who gets to have rights and who doesn't, who gets to have control over their own lives and who doesn't, who gets to live, who doesn't. Yeah, I was a lot more worked up when I first saw this video at work. A lot more worked up. So far, I have not used the F word once, at least I don't think I have.
It will end up in a complete disaster.
Oh, complete disaster. Dogs and cats living together. People running rampant in the street with peanut butter jars. Ah!
In its entirety. If we allow the homosexual movement to extend to what it wants to be,
oh yeah,
it'll be a complete disaster.
Can you imagine? They're going to start forcing everybody to wear dresses.
It will also end in tyranny.
Tyranny! Gay people controlling everything. What the hell?
There's several reasons why we should ban it. For one thing, homosexuality is contrary to natural behavior.
Yes, it's contrary to natural behavior, even though the majority of animal species, us being included in that, we are also animals. Although speciesism, this person is whatever you call it. Speciesism is the notion that humans are superior to all other life and at an elevated level because God made us special. And then they call what is natural unnatural, and what is unnatural becomes natural in this mindset. This guy's on a computer. Bionic Dance made a video response to this guy, and she pointed this out. No, dude, you're on a computer. That is not natural. But yes, when the majority of animals on the planet do have homosexual tendencies, and we being animals also have homosexual tendencies, I think that makes us be natural. We are being natural. It's your filthy religion that calls a natural thing unnatural and tries to tell people they're evil and bad for just being what they were born to be. And if there is a God, your God made them that way. So you're basically calling people, you're criticizing God. If you know, I don't believe in God, but if there was a God and everything you say is true, he made everything and everything's according to his will, then he made gay people, and everything they do is part of his divine plan. Anyway, I feel myself slowly unraveling. I don't know how much further I can go with this video, but please remember the thing I read at the start. That was an actual article written by somebody who actually, you know, knew stuff. I wish I had written down, maybe I have it on a different screen. Oh yes. This is the name of that. The article at the start of this, in case anybody wants to look it up. It was written in 2008, and it's called Are We Born Gay? Science Suggests Yes. And this is written by Tom Bester, June 17, 2008. So, and there's probably lots more you can find on the internet if you bothered to Google. So yes, we have somebody who's actually looked things up and read things. And then we have this guy. And unfortunately, there's people that are going to watch this guy and actually think it's true.
Because it is contrary to the natural order, and it is.
And it is. I know it is, because I know these things, you see. Just look at me, I look so smart. It's contrary to the natural order. And it is. Yes, I've decided. I have... So let it be written, so let it be done.
If you want to argue vice versa, it'll be futile because...
Futile. Don't even bother to argue with this guy because he's so right.
To say that homosexuality is natural would be like saying someone having sex with their car would be natural. It's impossible to argue for.
Can you actually believe that he just said that? I'm sorry. We're going to keep it cool. We're going to be cool. So he's saying that two people who fall in love and are sexually attracted to each other, and according to science, or what science is, the direction science is leaning to, at least they were in 2008, and I suspect there's even more now pointing in that direction. It's something people are born with, like left-handedness, as much something they can control as what hand is their dominant hand. He's saying for those people who fall in love and want to express their love with each other, that's just as unnatural as going out and fucking your car. Oops. I used the F word, but I didn't do it angrily. I did it in proper context. That is so sad though. I mean, What is his alternative? It's kind of like the whole abortion thing. Are they saying that we shouldn't let people have abortions? We should force women to have babies when they don't want them? Isn't that rather dehumanizing them and demeaning? Well, he's basically saying the same thing here. What's the alternative for people who are born gay? And does it just mean they can't ever love anybody? They can never fall in love. They can never be with the person they fall in love with. They can never have sexual experiences because this person and a book that he's glommed onto and decided is like, oh my gosh, it's the book, and the book says, oh yeah, the book says so, this is the way it is, okay. Says so, because he says so. It's just like having sex with a car. See, this doesn't make any sense to me. All I see when I look at this person and hear this person talk is somebody who is incredibly bigoted and is proud of it. And where does that come from? It comes from his religious upbringing. It comes from how he was. It's his religion. Would he be this way if it wasn't for a religion? I don't think so.
But here's the thing, is that it's against the natural order, and therefore
It's against the natural order. Isn't it interesting how he doesn't actually say where he gets his information? He just, I decree. Yes, I'm the king, and I have decreed a new law upon the land that homosexuality is against the natural order. All you homosexuals out there, keep it down. You can talk when I'm all done with my speech.
has no natural rights. I'm going to repeat that again. Homosexuality is contrary to the natural order, and therefore it has no natural rights.
Isn't that interesting? So if he tells us that homosexuality is contrary to the natural order. He doesn't tell us where he gets that information. And then he says because of that, they don't have any rights. Sorry, you were born that way. You just don't get to have any rights. And that's because I say so, and the book says so, and the book says so, you're screwed. Sorry, book says so. You don't get a choice. You just don't get to have any rights, and you don't get to fall in love, and you don't get to experience intimacy or closeness with another human being. Sorry.
Natural rights must be in accordance to the natural order. Now, normal sex between man and woman, married.
Normal sex. Isn't that interesting now? Now he's decided that sex between a man and a woman is normal. You know what's funny is a gay couple would probably say that sex between a man and a woman isn't normal. Because they're looking at it from the other side of the fence, and what's normal to them is sex between the same gender. That's their normal. That's how they were born. That's what feels right to them and feels natural to them. And the idea of sleeping with somebody who's not, they don't have any attraction to, ew! But this guy's just decided that sex between a man and a woman, that's normal. And sex between two same gender, not normal, no rights.
Man and a married woman is in accordance.
Oh, now it's a married woman. Married man and a married woman. So apparently if sex between a man and a woman who are not married, that's not normal.
To the natural order, and therefore it deserves every natural right.
Death by face palm. I'm sorry. Holy shit. I think my face is red now.
What happened is that when two gay men want to get married at a church and the pastor says, no, I'm not going to allow this, that pastor could end up being in trouble.
Not really. I don't think so. I think churches are still allowed to be as bigoted and discriminatory as they want to. I think that the only thing that's different is now they can't, well, in some states, unfortunately not all states, but in some states, people who are in love and want to express love in a lasting and profound way by marrying each other can do it without being thrown in jail. That's really the only difference between now and the good old days when Well, that he wishes, obviously, we're still here, and are in many states.
Look at what's happening in England right now. They just allowed gay marriage, and now the homosexuals, the sodomites in England,
Sodomites.
they want to sue the Church of England and make them allow gay marriage. Well, all of a sudden now they're pushing it at our throats. So it's very dangerous. It's going to lead.
That's terrible. That is just terrible that these awful sodomites are trying to get the church to fucking not shove their intolerant bigotry down everybody's throats. I think that the church can be as filthy, bigoted, intolerant, whatever, poisonous to society as it wants to be. But I think that people should have a right to protest it. You know, if we had KKK, maybe we do in Washington State, I don't know. But if people were like being affected in a negative way by the KKK, I would probably be very vocally against the KKK. We don't have that issue here as far as I know. Washington State doesn't, it's not, unfortunately there's other states that this is another form of poison in my opinion. The KKK. Anyway, I think people should have the right to protest when their rights are being taken. Maybe some of those people that are gay that want to get married in a church. I do think the church has the right to refuse them, but that doesn't mean that they don't have a right to be unhappy about it and try to get it changed. They probably won't succeed, but I think that anytime you have one group of people being singled out and told that they don't get to have the same rights as everybody else, you're going to have some unhappy people, especially if it's something to do with what they were born, how they were born, and something they can't help.
To sodomite tyranny, homo heresy.
Oh my God, can we say homophobic?
And it's going to lead but nothing but suffering.
Oh, nothing but suffering. Suffering and misery. for oh my God, what is the world coming to? They're going to be gay people in the streets having sex, and we're all just going to be suffering and miserable.
Suffering of the Christians here in the United States.
One of my dearest friends is a Christian, and he's gay. Suffering of the Christians. Oh, we don't want those poor Christians to not get to have their way. It's just because, you know, everything needs to be according to what the Christians want, because the book is so important. The book is the book, and Christians really value the book, and that's important. That book is, and oh my God, they're gonna suffer terribly if we don't do everything the book says.
States. So, 2 reasons why it should be banned. 1, it is contrary to the natural order, therefore it deserves
Contrary to the natural order. We still don't know where he gets that fact.
no natural rights.
No natural rights. That's his own decision. Contrary to the natural order, no natural rights. So here's what I want to know. Somebody who, you know, gets his legs shot off. He goes to war and he gets his legs shot off and he's in a wheelchair. Obviously, his being able to move around is contrary to the natural order. So should he have his rights taken away?
And 2, the homosexual agenda will lead to tyranny, and also
Yes, because these gay people are so dangerous. Tyranny. Gay people controlling the whole world. Here's what I want to know. Why does he think that... Now, I don't think it's even remotely true. I think that the last thing that gay people want to do is tyrannize things. They just want to have the same rights as everybody else. But, okay, let's just say by some strange thing down the road, one day there's more gay people than there's straight people. Highly unlikely, and probably scientifically impossible, but let's just say it. There's more gay people than straight people in the future. What makes this guy think that it's going to be a tyranny? What makes him think that gay people are going to do a worse job of running things as straight people do? Aren't all people people?
to the destruction of civilization
The
itself.
destruction of civilization itself. And people watch this guy and actually believe this shit. This is the stuff that breeds hatred and intolerance. And it's because of this religion. He doesn't ever say, I don't think, he did use the word Christian once, so we know he's a Christian. He doesn't actually ever say the Bible says, but you know that's where it's coming from.
Hope you have enjoyed this message, and don't forget, join me on Facebook and Twitter. The links will be on the bottom. And God bless you.
I have so enjoyed his message. I have savored every word. So anyway, I don't know how long this is going to be when I tack the two parts together, so I'm going to end it. I just think that this is one of the saddest examples of how religion poisons people's minds that I have seen on YouTube. Thanks for watching. Bye.